Hey there, baby girl. It's your daddy again. It's been a little while since I made one of these videos, and in that time, the world has changed dramatically. So, when you are in school and growing up, and for probably the next 50 years and all that, you are going to hear a lot of stories about the coronavirus. And it is something that actually kicked off right around the time or the day that you got born in China, and right now, everybody's talking about how it got started in what's called a wet market in a city called Wuhan, China. Wuhan is a city of 60 million people, and this wet market is a place where the people who live in the city go and buy all kinds of different food. And when I say food, I use that term loosely. They eat bats, they eat penguins, they eat ferrets and salamanders, and they eat all kinds of things you and I would never want to eat. Unfortunately, when you have a massive city with tons of people in it like that, you got to eat what you can eat. And apparently, some contaminated food got eaten by a human being, and that led to coronavirus, which is a highly contagious flu that is spread across the globe and killed some people. And because it's highly contagious, and unfortunately people who have it might not be showing symptoms of having it and still able to go spread it around, it's caused a great big old problem with the global economy and the economy here in the United States. So right now everybody's in what's called quarantine, and that basically means avoid contact with other people, avoid going to areas of crowded areas of people. They want you staying away from crowds of 10 or more people nationwide at the moment. Restaurants are shut down, cruise lines are shut down, airports are shut down. They're really going out of their way to make sure that it does not spread. Unfortunately, what happens is when you get this coronavirus, you don't notice that you have it right away. And while you're not noticing that you have it, you're spreading it around to other people. And then when you get it, or when you get the symptoms of it, it's like any other flu, cough, sore throat, fever, that kind of stuff. But the most deadly part about it at the moment appears to be that it impedes your immune system so badly that if you have any other conditions like diabetes or a heart problem or, respiratory issues, lung problems, or cancer or something, it's killing a lot of those folks. So everybody's freaking out. The older group of people, everybody that's 60 years old and older, is definitely freaking out, which is all of the politicians in Washington. They're all 60 or older, and I have my own opinions that I won't share with you here, but we'll get into it one day. Either way, it's a big deal. The economy's been shut down. The government has voted to put $1 trillion worth of funding into the community, and try to keep people from losing their jobs and all kinds of things. But it looks like it's going to be a bit of a weird summer. So hopefully, it looks like Daddy's in a good spot. I work for a very good company. They're taking good care of us, making sure that we have everything that we need and doing everything that's possible to keep us working and keep us making money. Fortunately for your dad, I've got a series of other talents. So if, things start getting desperate and we start getting light on money, then, there's other ways that I can make money and make sure that you have food. Me and your mom have done a good job of stockpiling diapers and formula and things like that for you so that we have everything we need for you for at least the next 3 months. We've got our own supply of food for the next 2 months. So as much as you're being told not to go to the grocery store and everything, your mom and daddy have been thoughtful and we've taken care of it. And most of that's been your mama. One of the tragically amazing things about your mom is that she did suffer this before. These one item per person policies when you go to the grocery store, the limit of how many people can be in the store at one time, stuff all happened to her when she was 16 or 14, 15, 16 in Venezuela, and that was one of the big reasons she chose to leave Venezuela. The reason Venezuela did it is entirely different than the reason it's happening in America right now, but it still happened. And your daddy's taking precautions. I'm wearing masks and gloves, and I got Lysol and antibacterial. I'm trying to make sure I'm not spreading anything or trying to prevent myself from catching it. Fortunately, we're pretty healthy people, so if we do get it, I don't think we'll die from it. Pray, always pray. You never know, but I don't think we'll be dying from it. But either way, we're taking care. Being careful and making sure that we're not exposing ourselves unnecessarily. Which brings us to really what I wanted to talk with you about is in moments like this when the whole world gets flipped upside down, because unfortunately, it seems like that's going to be something that happens. But when the whole wide world gets flipped upside down, the most important thing is to not panic. A lot of people are going out and panicking, and they're worried that they're not going to be able to have enough supplies. They're worried about millions of things. You know, um, a lot of it's just fear. A lot of people are just afraid, and I guess going out and buying toilet paper and all this other stuff helps them feel more confident that they're prepared for something they have no control over. Okay, the reason that I'm telling you not to panic is because it's not worth it. Uh, you know, if you panic, you can't think clearly. If you can't think clearly, then you can't make smart decisions that actually help. Okay, it's always important to make sure that no matter what is going on in your life, how angry you might get, how emotionally distraught you might feel, whatever emotions that you're feeling, that you try your absolute best to not make rash decisions on those emotions. You want to make sure that you're trying to maintain a clear head and that you're being rational and logical about the choices and decisions that you make, not emotional about them. Okay? The reason for that is because in this moment right now, the economy's in recession. It looks like there's going to be big problems with it, but that presents a really unique opportunity too. So this is something that we talked about at my company. This is something that me and your mom have been talking about for weeks now, is that whenever the economy declines, it provides an opportunity for people who are smart and rational and thought through to have options to do things that they didn't have before the recession. So before this recession, the house prices are really high. And when they're really high like that, it makes it difficult to buy a house for a reasonable amount of money for what the house is actually worth. You might end up overpaying for it because everybody's got money and everybody wants it, so all of them are going to throw money at it, and then the person who's selling it gets to pick and choose how much money they want to actually take for it. And usually they just keep inflating prices and inflating prices to the point then where a house that during a recession might only be worth $185,000 is getting told for $250,000 because of a boom economy. And these are things that me and your mama talk a lot about because that's the kind of stuff that we plan to take advantage of. We have been working very diligently and hardly to get control of our finances and make sure that we're making good decisions with how we spend money and save money so that when a good opportunity provides itself with somebody who unfortunately might have lost their job and no longer can pay their mortgage, and now they have to sell their house, and they need to sell it now because they can't pay the mortgage and the bank's coming to take it if they keep missing that payment. They need to sell it now. So they might be willing to accept a lot less money now than they would have when they were working and they had plenty of their own money and didn't need to sell it. And that's what me and your mama are trying to do. We're trying to take advantage of this opportunity. As much as it's scary to say, because there are going to be people who die, there are going to be people who lose their houses. There's going to be a lot of people that unfortunately don't come out of this as well as they went into it. That's just the way the world works. But when you have an advantage, you need to exercise it. You need to take it. An opportunity only exists and is only useful if you're willing to take that opportunity. And one of the most important things that I learned in my life, and I think that your mom has learned in her life, and what I want to teach you in your life, is that opportunities are God's gift to you. And you'll know whether it was right or wrong based on your praying, based on how simply it comes together, in making sure that you maintain gratitude about what happened